to close out, I'd love to know any future directions that you'd like to share.
Yeah, legacy or broadly. I think I'll share this. My in my role now at NATSAP as president of NATSAP, a part of what we're engaging in is political conversation and really looking at behavioral health care nationally. How do we treat people in America who have mental health and addiction? And what are the ways in which we're missing? And what are the ways that we can do to improve it? And so for me, I think one of the things that I'm going to continue to work on and I'm going to continue to advocate for is I'm going to try to respond to some of the critiques that I think are valid, in that there needs to be more transparency and accountability for programs. Do we do what we say we do? And I think that we owe it to our clients and we owe it to the families we work with to be able to answer that question. And I think that we're in a place that it's fair to start asking programs that question, and for us as programs to start having better answers to those questions. And so, my goal is to role model that within my own program while still be willing to learn and evolve. Because as well as we're doing at Legacy, once you get, as you know, when you start investing these things, you implement things, you get answers, you're able to move it forward. And what you find is there's 100 other questions to answer, right? I view where we're at as a start to something that really, truly in the end can elevate care, not just with Legacy, but within the field.
Absolutely. And I think that I completely agree with everything you're saying. And I think that what research does is allow, like you said, to kind of ask the more questions. One thing that we decided to do, and that we're going to be actually launching some of this data in our outcomes report at the end of the month when it is released, is break out certain populations. So once you start to collect a lot of data and you have a lot of data, you can start to hone in on certain populations that you are treating, but want to make sure, like we're looking at our LGBTQ population, to make sure that our treatment model is helping this population just as much as our cisgender heterosexual population. And we're breaking out our neurodivergent population. We've been honing in on ASD and ADHD and social functioning in those populations because we know and we see that our community model really benefits this population. But we want to put numbers to that and show that it really is working. And so we'll, again, like I said, we'll be releasing that data, but of course it's a starting point. And then from there, who knows what other studies we'll be building. We really want to measure the community aspect because I think that that is something, like I mentioned before, that's so important, especially for young adults and what's going to take them, whether they go on to academia or they go on to get a job after treatment. Having community, being able to build community, being able to feel that they have good quality of life are the things that are going to carry them through once their symptoms improve. So, yeah, but to summarize, we really want to hone in on certain populations, and the broader data helps us to identify, oh wow, this population is growing rapidly at the dorm, and we need to, you know, zone in on that particular population.
Yeah, yeah. Again, yeah, thanks for having me on. Thanks for having me on. And the fact that that's where you guys are at as an organization is starting to ask deeper, more specific questions is brilliant, and I think it's a testament to where you guys are at and how much you've invested in this. And I appreciate that. I appreciate this collaboration. It is a form of that transparency and accountability that we're talking about. So thank you for investing in it in your own organization, but also for having this collaboration and being able to drive conversations that can help the field and not just our own programs. I think that that's a demonstration of real leadership and integrity. And yeah, I look forward to more conversations and more learning and more specific questions. Yeah, so many of those things you talked about, I want to know where it's at, and I'm anxious to see the outcomes.
Yeah, and thank you so much for coming on to talk to us. We really value collaboration as well, and we respect and absolutely in awe of what you're doing as well because it helps us and it pushes us and inspires us to keep doing more of what we do. So I think that being able to ask, questions about one another's work, share what we're doing, it's just going to keep driving the field at large forward. And I mean, that's the best thing we can do.